Okay, so we're diving deep today into the intro of this podcast. It's called Admire the World, Exploring the Wonders Around Us. And basically, we want to kind of break down how they're trying to get people, hooked right from the start.
Yeah, like what are they doing in those first few minutes to really grab the listener's attention? Set the stage for the whole thing.
Right from the jump, they mention upbeat music playing in the background. What do you think that does for them?
Well, I think it's all about creating a certain mood.
Hmm.
Upbeat music gets people feeling positive and maybe even a little more open to whatever's coming next, which makes sense for a show all about like the wonders of the world, right?
Makes sense. And they jump right in addressing the audience as world. That's kind of a big statement, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. It's like they're trying to create this instant feeling of everyone being included.
Yeah.
Like if you're part of this planet, then this show is for you.
Yeah.
It's a pretty bold move for sure.
For sure. And they're not shy about asking for those YouTube subscriptions and telling people to hit that notification bell. They even ask for comments, too. What's the strategy there?
That's classic online community building. They want people to subscribe, so they keep coming back, and those notifications remind them there's new stuff to check out.
Yeah.
And asking for comments, well, that gets people talking and feeling more connected to the show.
They also say they're going to jump right in and explore something truly remarkable, but they don't actually say what it is. Why hold back like that?
It's all about building anticipation, right? You
Hmm.
get the listener curious, like, what's so remarkable? I got to hear this. Sometimes leaving things unsaid can actually make people even more interested.
And then they hit you with, picture yourself there, standing in the heart of it all. It's like they're trying to get you to really imagine it.
Exactly. They're tapping into the power of mental imagery. When you can actually picture yourself in a place, it suddenly becomes way more real and you get more emotionally invested even before you know all the details.
Yeah. And speaking of details, they talk about using vivid description, even mentioning things like the scent of nature and the sounds of birds. Why focus on that sensory stuff?
It's all about creating an immersive experience.
Yeah.
You want the listener to feel like they're actually there. So you go beyond just the visuals and bring in those other senses like smell and sound. It makes the whole thing much more vivid and memorable.
They also say that the topic will tell a story of history, culture, and the beauty of our world. What do you think they're trying to get across with that statement?
I think it signals that this show is about more than just pretty pictures or surface level stuff. They want to explore the deeper meaning and context behind these wonders.
Yeah.
How they connect to history and culture and why they matter to us today.
And then there's that line, I bet you didn't know that, followed by some interesting fact or historical tidbit. Classic podcast move, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a way to surprise the listener and show them that they're going to learn something new. It also makes people more likely to share the show with others, because who doesn't love a good did you know?
They even talk about the blend of past and present, calling the topic a connection to generations before us. What's the significance of that angle?
It adds a sense of history and legacy. It's saying that these wonders aren't just isolated things. They're part of a bigger story that stretches back in time and connects us to the people who came before us.
And to wrap it up, they say there's always something new to discover, even if you've visited a place or explored a topic many times before. What kind of message does that send?
I think it speaks to the idea of lifelong learning and exploration. It's saying that even the things we think we know well can still surprise us, and there's always more to discover, which I think is a really exciting and inspiring message.
So to sum it up, Admire the World starts off with this really upbeat energy. They try to create this sense of everyone being included. They're not afraid to ask for those subscriptions and comments, and they're all about drawing you in with vivid descriptions, historical context, and the promise of always learning something new.
Yeah, they're using a lot of different techniques, but it all comes down to creating a show that's engaging, informative, and ultimately leaves you feeling like you've learned something, and maybe even inspired to explore the world a bit more.
So now we turn it over to you listening. Think about this intro. Do those strategies work for you? Do they make you want to hear more, or do they turn you off? What kind of approach really grabs your attention and makes you eager to learn?